What's up guys, Divide here, and today we're covering all the content available this week in Destiny 2 that you should look at getting some of the stuff done before next week's reset on May 6th, along with the latest news for Destiny 2 for the current week of week 13, before we head into the upcoming content soon for the next major expansion, known as the Edge of Fate. So we'll touch on the new content coming soon, and content currently available that you'll want to get done before next week's reset, a video with some important news and weekly game progression, so definitely watch to the end. Now starting off, before we get into game content, we need to take a look at the latest news for Destiny 2, because this week is the last week before we start the brand new Rite of the 9 DLC, a small free content drop coming up soon that launches on Tuesday on May 6 next week. So just a heads up that we will be getting new content dropping, so I do recommend completing your seasonal challenges that give you these Curo of the 9 materials, because they will likely be used for something next week. But with the Rite of the 9 coming up, it will feature easier and harder versions of the Prophecy Dungeon, the Spire of the Watcher, and the Ghost of the Deep, so make sure to get your practice in so that you can make the most out of this limited time content when it does drop with a refreshed reward pool. But also happening on May 6 will be the big reveal for the next major expansion for the Edge of Fate coming in the summer, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, for story developments this week, we'll likely see progression with the chess pieces that we've uncovered last week, so expect more secrets to be uncovered as we move on with the week. Speaking of events though, we do have the return of the Iron Banner event for the third time this season, so if you still need or want any Iron Banner rewards, or you just want to play Iron Banner and gild your seal, then this week is the week to do so, as it will be featured for the next 7 days until next Tuesday's weekly reset. Next, the featured Nightfall this week should be the highest battleground Mars according to the rotations, and if you jump into the Nightfall to grind, then expect it to be dropping the Plug 1 fusion rifle, so if you want the standard version of that, then play the regular Nightfall at any difficulty, or do the Grandmaster for a guaranteed drop of the Adept version so that you can apply those juicy Adept mods. It is a decent fusion rifle, not the best, but it's good enough to have if you don't have any good ones currently. It is on a 2-month rotation, so don't miss it. As for the raids in rotation this week, we should see the return of the Last Wish raid again, and within this raid you can farm any of the red border weapons from it if you still need any of them, as well as the 1K Voices exotic fusion rifle. The second raid featured should be the Vow of the Disciple raid, and again like Last Wish, you can farm for any red borders that you need from that raid, as well as its exotic weapon that drops from the final boss, so since it is featured, you can farm the boss over and over until you get that exotic weapon to drop. Moving to dungeons, dungeons are still on a weird rotation that's sort of messed up, so take this with a grain of salt, but we should see the Vespers host being featured, which should have been fixed since it was bugged the first time when it came out, so you should be able to farm the Icebreaker if you still need it, along with any weapons within that dungeon. The second dungeon featured though should be the Duality, so like Vesper's host, you can farm anything you want from that dungeon until it leaves next week. The last ritual activity featured is the exotic mission, which is now back to Avalon, which means you can get the Vex Caliber exotic weapon, or its craftable variant. For week 13 seasonal challenges, this is your full list of objectives, which includes getting linear fusion rifle final blows, defeating combatants with Banes, activities on the Amuna, 200 strand ability final blows in ritual activities, completing competitive crucible matches, and marksman weapon kills, so something to keep you busy for the week. Lastly though, here is your Lost Sector schedule for the week if you're going to farm anything from those. Otherwise, that's all I have for you guys. This has been your This Week in Destiny PSA, a bit of a quieter week than usual, so have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next video.